Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome back to another episode of WILI Interviews. Today we have the creator of the 24-hour marathon that you should have seen by now because it's on my channel for about a week now. It's the great, the only Ryan Chattaway. Why don't you say hello, everyone?
Hey, everybody. Thanks, CP, for having me on.
Oh, no.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being here.
Oh,
So,
anytime.
like I mentioned, I took part in the marathon back in April, but a bunch of different things led to me not getting it done, and it finally is out there. But you are the person that created it. It's been going on for 5 years now. Why don't you tell us how, why, what made you get started to do that, and why include everybody?
Well, my whole purpose from the beginning was I just wanted to do something different. I wanted, I had been inspired to start my YouTube channel in 2011 by two people, Cool Duder, who sometimes can be, funny to talk about, and either way, it's hard to say that he hasn't inspired a lot of people to make videos in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
So he was one of them. Then my good buddy Robbie Webster did vlogging type videos. So I was doing that whole Blu-ray update / vlogging for like a year, and I was thinking, you know what? Everybody does contests all the time. I mean, that was like a big thing back then. Was if you want subscribers, do contest. Kind of because that was just how it was back in 2011, and I partaked in that too. I did contests and everything, and I was like, you know what? I want to do something different to get everybody involved. And so I remember, it's funny, I remember just like it was yesterday. I was driving in my car with my wife, and we were talking about. She was talking because she does a lot of reading, and she was talking about how in some other country somewhere, she was reading a blog about somebody. They do a 24-hour reading marathon where they all get together and just read the same book or do reading for 24 hours, and just it's kind of like a book club, but they meet for 24 hours, some coffee shop. And I was really interested in that whole thing, and I was like, well, I wonder if I could do something like that with the movie marathon, like with a movie marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned that to her, and she was like, I don't see any reason why not. And I was like, because I don't really need to have everybody in the same stream at the same time doing the same thing. I could just do it. And it kind of morphed into the whole 24-hour movie marathon of, at first, it was really just do it within a 24-hour period. But over the next year, I wanted more people to partake. So I was like, okay, you could either do a 24-hour time period or do it 24 hours worth of movies over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it blossomed, and other people started doing it. And I just wanted, I mean, that was around the same time where YouTube had the video response system where you could actually respond to the video. And so it was easier for everybody to kind of be a big community about it. But when they got rid of that, then it just was like, okay, put it in your comment section, put it in everybody's comment sections about all the videos. And it kind of blew up from there. And at first I was like, man, at first I was like, okay, well, I created this thing. My ego kind of probably got in the way a little, not in the way, but my ego was like, man, I've created this monster almost, but I feel like I wish more people did it. But over the next couple of years, it really blossomed into the people who participate and the people who watch. And I feel like the people who watch community is in some ways stronger than the people who actually do it. Like, people talk to me and Luke like on our videos, and like when you do it, if you do it next year, you'll see some of the same people that are like, I haven't watched anybody's videos at all since last year's movie marathon, and I come back to this every year. And it's like the people who watch have now blossomed into, like, I know people that are subscribed to my channel just for the marathon videos. And
That's incredible.
That was my inspiration with that, was like, or my goal with that eventually was to do a community thing. And as the years have gone on, I've been kind of more lenient about the guidelines, because it was never really a rule. It was just, me acting, me saying, trying to get people to branch out into other films. But I'm lenient as always, and it's just turned into something that's really awesome. I'm really
You know what? It is. I'll be honest. It's good. It's better that you have things like guidelines, because I'll say for myself, I'm just plain old not a silent film guy. and to have that one there, first of all, what I wanted to do is I wanted to do only movies that I owned. And what it made me do was it made me finally watch the Mel Brooks silent movie, the copy that I have the Mel Brooks, the box set that's basically all his MGM stuff. And so it like, you know, I could probably list about 60 movies that I have that I just haven't even touched yet. It made me sit down and actually watch it. So it's actually, for collectors like us, it's really a good thing to, you know, kind of kick you in the ass and say, well, all right, well, go watch one of those now.
Exactly. And part of the time, like for the first couple of years, I really just watched movies that I owned just to make it easier for me to get my hands on them and, of course, save money.
Mm-hmm.
But as the years have gone by, I've actually like, I still watch, you know, sometimes I'll be like, you know, watch a favorite film of yours as a guideline. And of course, I'll watch a film I've seen before. But past couple of years, I've really tried to just watch movies I had never seen. And that's one of the big things I did this year. I still watch some movies I'd seen before, but for the most part, for the branching out ones, I always try to do something I haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I started it. And it's funny because you could just go on, you know, YouTube and just type in 24-hour movie marathon, and you see all these people that have done it, whether they know of me or not. Like, it's just kind of, some people have just done it because they've seen other people do it, other people do it, other people do it. And that's when I knew, okay, that was probably a good idea, because obviously I could care less about the credit. I just am just blown away that people are actually sitting down and watching movies for 24 hours and making videos about it.
Okay, you could care less about the credit. I'll get angry for you. There is, when my video came up, somebody commented on it and they said, "Oh," and I said, "Oh, you did Ryan Chattaway's," and he said, "No, I think it was another one." And I and I was like, "All right, well, what are the guidelines?" And he listed them off, and I was like, "That sounds like a hybrid of everything Ryan has done." Because it was like, I know in previous years one was like, watch a flop, watch your favorite movie. What I think something you haven't seen was something you listed. Except it was like a combination of all of that. And I was like, it's odd. They're all Ryan guidelines, but they're kind of mishmashed in a greatest hits.
Yeah, in fact, Luke, you know, Rachel Raw Reviews, and a few other people of, you know, friends of mine that have done the marathon multiple years in a row, they've actually said, okay, not only am I going to do this year's guidelines, but I'm going to trickle in some ones from the years before.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that some people that have watched their videos have been like, okay, well, we're going to do the exact same thing. And then, of course, that's just how, you know, that's how it works. But I thought it was funny how people do that. I personally can't even imagine adding more guidelines other than the ones that I have, because I find myself running out of time. So when Luke was like, and maybe it's because I do it in a 24-hour period, but when Luke was like, I'm going to add like 5 more, I'm like, good for you. Because I was like, but I think it's a little bit, I don't think I could have fit it into my, well, maybe I could have, but yeah, I've noticed these like hybrid versions, which once again, I don't really care, because at least they're doing it. I mean, at least people are doing it. And, and plus, if there's one thing I could say about what we do, is that my video, your video, Luke's video, we try to make it cinematic. That's we try to, I guess you could say, that's when our pretentious, you know, filmmaker inside of us turns on, and we're like, let's make this our Hollywood hit.
Yeah, well, you know what, and that's what's incredible. Like, the idea is one thing, but then the establishment of just what people are doing with that idea is, it's so incredible. Like, you literally, you could type in, like, and now there's many different years of it, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and there are so many different like versions of what people. Some of them are just like vlog style, where they're just you know, sitting in front of a camera saying, I watch this, I watch this, I watch this, I watch this. And then you have the polar opposite, which I would say is the platinum standard is Luke Razor Wire Reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, this year 6.5 hours, and I gotta be honest, a lot of it is worth watching. You hear 6.5 hours, you're like, oh really? But no, it's And the cameos he has in there, it's quite incredible. It's at least for him, it's become this beast that is just hard to top yearly.
It is funny thinking about it. It started with me because he did it the first year as well, and so it started with me and him holding the cameras in front of our faces, going, "All right, so we watched this movie," and then flash forward to last year where Luke has had made his so cinematic that he's actually standing on top of a mountain with a Jedi robe. Like it's like blossom into this brilliantly beautiful monster of. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It was worth me starting this just so I could watch his videos.
Oh, I mean, you doing the two of you doing the Blade Runner thing.
Oh yeah,
hysterical.
That was really fun to film.
Cinematic is an understatement with that portion, at least. It's so come on. That's not YouTube, that's next level.
Yeah, and so when I talk to people and they're like, well, you're doing a 24-hour movie marathon, like if I talk to people that don't really know what I'm talking about, like in person, like in, I'd say real life, but everything's real life. But if I talk to somebody I work with or something like that, they're like, wait, you're doing a skit kind of a video for a marathon video that you're filming yourself watching movies. It's really hard to explain to people. So I always say, just picture Lawrence of Arabia, but he's just watching some movies in between. I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah, the difference that you have, I'll try to give you a break as much as possible. The difference that you have between like something like Luke's is it's not so much over a 24-hour period. He's trying to fill 24 hours of movies, which is I kind of did a little bit of both. You are more of the video, at least, is 24 hours. It's you wake up at 8 o'clock and you go out and you get food or you get drink, and whatever happens in that 24 hours is what you're documenting. And I like the different tastes of it all, because you know what, if you just sat down and watched movie after movie after movie after movie, it would be a neat video, but it would be kind of unrealistic. Like if that's the standard people are setting, like you're gonna have to stop and eat. You're gonna hopefully nobody ever shows themselves going to the bathroom, which I'll probably top that if it ever does happen. But there are things that you have to do over the course of a day, no matter what you're trying to do. I mean, granted, you could, like I said, they've had these stupid things where people put their hand on a car and whoever stays on it the longest, they win the car, like that. I mean, granted, if you set your mind to something, you can do it, but realistically, you're going to stop and eat. You're going to, stop and just kind of look outside and be like, all right, I need my eyes to just stop looking at a screen for a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see just all these different aspects. And well, first of all, on behalf of people who are doing it, thank you. On behalf of people who are watching it, thank you. And on behalf of the people who don't even know about it yet, thank you.
You're very welcome. It's definitely the one thing that I'm, proud of that I've actually done. I mean, I don't consider some people consider being proud of something you've done as like an ego thing. No, because a person like me who's, I don't always have the greatest self-esteem. For me to say I'm actually proud that I did that is awesome, because I just think that I've gotten so much joy out of it personally that I'm just glad that, I was driving in the car that day and my wife decided to tell me about the book thing, because who knows, I might not have, ever even came up with the idea. Yeah.
And for as much as you don't mind, not taking credit, it has become something of a bit like for a bunch of people, even that don't know that you're responsible for something that's quite a big deal, whether or not people know that. And in 20 years, when there's 15,000 24-hour videos out there, there's going to be legends about you. It's not really Ryan
I,
Chattaway. No, it
I,
is.
thought, I thought he was a myth.
It's all true, all of
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So there's more to Ryan Chattaway than the creator of the 24-hour. There's Ryan Chattaway, the main channel, which is another movie fan, just like me, just like anybody that watches. What goes on that channel? What inspires you to put things up there?
That like my main channel has kind of morphed in motivation over the years, but it's kind of in some ways stayed the same. It's really just about my love of movies, and not just movies, but my passion for movies and I guess you could say life, but mainly movies because I've always trickled in vlogs, out and abouts, all that kind of stuff here and there. But it mainly started with movies because in our everyday lives, like I have friends that like movies, but not everybody has the same taste. I can't just go up to somebody, where I live in Jacksonville and say, "Hey, how about Seven Samurai?" or "Hey, how about so and so?" And the but on here, we're all connected and friends through our common interest instead of just through life, like just bumping into each other. Like we started all being friends through our common interest of our love of movies and our love of you know just film in general. And it's kind of twofold on my main channel to where it's my love of vlogging and my love of movies. But my goal for here on out is to kind of keep my main channel just movie related. From I try to not do. I'm not one of those that do updates every week because I think it's kind of it can be repetitive watching the same video of the same person unboxing, you know, Mission Impossible 18, every week. You know what I mean? It's just so I try to keep it to like maybe once a month, once every couple months, but mainly just movie vlogs. I'm trying to do more marathons, and maybe one day I'll get back to the podcast thing. Sometimes just do some hunting around town for some movies, but mainly it's just my love of film. I started, the Ryan Cinematic Obsession series early in the year, kind of on a hiatus with it right now because of some motivational issues that I was going through over the past couple months. But that's basically where my channel is at. It's just really, it's kind of its own thing because it's such a variety.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where my main channel is at.
That's right. You've done other marathons too. You've done like silent films, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, Luke started back in 2000, I think 13. Me, Luke, and a good friend of ours, Robbie Webster, had the Blu-ray Brothers channel, and we had and we did skits and had themed weeks, and we talked about different subjects in film. And Luke, I think I think it was 20s week, and we did or a silent week. I think it was 20s week, and Luke was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a silent movie marathon, and his video was so, I mean, I would dare say, glorious and miraculous of epicness that a year later I was like, you know what? I'm going to join in when he does it again. And so he did Marathon 2. That was like his 9-hour video that he released in like parts and stuff. And
Wow.
I decided to do it last year. So, and I'm doing it again this year. So I've done that. I did, done Friday night ritual type videos, which are me watching movies. That was inspired by an old YouTuber named Shane Jensen that I'm friends with, and basically it's just eating dinner, watching movie, just doing whatever, having fun, and vlogging about it.
So there's no real there's no guideline for time. It's just whatever you could fit in a Friday night, basically.
Yeah, like his original one was he would get food from like an Italian restaurant, a pizza restaurant. He would eat it with some friends or whatever, and then they would for the first like hour before the movie, he would pop in some like old like 80s style music videos and just kind of just have fun with it. And so my last Friday night ritual, I did the exact same thing and did like a bunch of like 80s music videos. I mean, even
I think
like
I've seen that. I'm
yeah,
pretty
and
sure I've
so
seen that. Yeah.
and it just brings like I don't know, it's just another thing to kind of because there's something about some 80s music and music in general that could just get people hyped up. And so that's why I was like, you know what? why not I do that too? So I did that. Then I watched a movie, and it all started because that's what Shane and some of his friends, they did every Friday night, and that became a ritual for them. Then that inspired other people like me, Robbie, and Luke to do the same thing, because Luke's done Friday night ritual videos as well. So I don't do them as much anymore, but I try to do them every once in a while.
Yeah, it seems as if you have like the Big Daddy, which is a 24-hour one, and then you
Hmm.
have like little, you know, supplement. I guess is what I would call it. They're not quite as big a deal. They're not quite as uh, I don't know, not quite as big a deal. They're just, you know, things to hold you over for the year, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Another channel that you're a part of, the Saturday Night Insanity on Zarenizerak's channel. How is that? How do you enjoy that? How did that come to? Well, how did you come to be on that?
Um, I started, watching Sean, Zara and Isaac through another YouTuber friend of mine back in 2011. His name is Razman, Razman's Reality. I kind of connected through him to
Mm-hmm.
them, and then we ended up being me and Sean, or me and Zara and Isaac, Skin Slip, and all of us became really close because of our friendship,
Mm-hmm.
being, chat rooms together and stuff like that. And then um, Sean started doing Saturday Night Insanity, and I didn't start out doing it at first, and then eventually I did like little guest spots here and there. Then sometimes I was more regular than the others.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, sometimes I talk through the entire thing, and then there's some times where I say a couple words in the 3 hour period.
I was going to say, it's there are something I've noticed in doing streams and things like that. There are some powerful voices, and sometimes people kind of get swallowed up and stuff like that. And in that stream, I could probably name at least three people that, if you let them, they'll talk through. And I mean, I remember it specifically one time where I made reference to it directly to you, where you had quite a good joke that you weren't able to get in, or they weren't hearing because they were so. I don't remember what they were talking about, but there just was no chance for them to stop for your joke, and I'm like, guys, just wait, just listen, it's really funny. And it's the more people you get in a room, it's kind of difficult. Is Does that bother you at all? I mean, let me
No,
rephrase that. I didn't mean bother.
well,
Um,
yeah, I know what
is
you mean.
it a bit of a struggle? Like for instance, when you have something funny to say and people can't hear it, does it?
Um, no, it doesn't actually bother me at all. Like, I could care less. I could be on the stream and not say a word the entire time, and I'll be
Mhm.
fine, because I'm entertained listening to them talk,
Right,
and some of them
right,
argue with each other and stuff.
right.
If I have a really over the board joke, sometimes I just try to go across the line with that kind of stream and just say something to kind of, shake things up a little bit. Like, I'll eventually somehow try to fit it in, but I because it's such a, Sean has such a big interest in everything. Like, I'm not a gamer, so there'll
Hmm.
be times where they're talking about games and I just don't really have. It's not that I'm not interested. I'm just listening, because I
Hmm.
don't have any input into,
Hmm.
how much so and so goes into a Xbox in order to get this much power, and like, I don't know. I mean, I still have a Nintendo 64, so
Hmm.
um but to me, it's just kind of like, if you're in a. To me, I feel like it's like, you're in a room hanging. We're all friends hanging out, and sometimes a couple people, one night will be talking more than the others. Other nights, the conversation's different.
Hmm.
But either way, I love being on it whenever I have a chance to be on it. All the guys are awesome, and kind of morphed into, because there were some times where I was struggling motivational wise, like about being motivated to do videos and stuff like that. And then, I would hang out with these guys, and then I'd just be, Brandon would talk, Skin Slip would talk about a movie, lift up a Blu-ray. I'm like, what the hell is that movie?
Oh
I've
man,
never heard it. And
he's
then
full of those.
yeah, then I'm like, Amazon wish list, add to wish
Hmm.
list, add to wish list. And then,
Hmm.
it just, um, I don't know, those guys are, have a special place in my heart for the fact that they're awesome. They've been there, they've been there through the hard and the tough, or the hard and the good times with me, and I'm just glad that I met them. Same for like Luke too.
No,
And
yeah. Well, you know what? As film fans are concerned, more often than not, there's about 8 people in that chat, and the spectrum is so wide and vast. You have somebody like Skinslip, who he takes pride in the fact that he enjoys some of the lesser known stuff, some of the trashy, some B movies is, I guess, a gentle way to put it.
yeah.
And then you go far up to somebody like you who's got quite a few Criterions in your collection, and somewhere across through those 8 people, you have these these moments where somebody meets, and it's just a vast coverage of films and film quality, I guess is how somebody would put it.
Yeah, I mean, there's rarely a time when anybody could ask a question in Saturday Night Insanity where there has to be at least one person in that crowd that knows something about it. I mean, because the variety of knowledge is, I mean, we got you covered. So
yeah. You could, and another thing is, you could probably go from talking about M 1 minute to talking about Toxic Avenger the next. It's quite fast.
There's this joke that I love, and it's something that I've actually kind of not. I get negative comments on my videos from time to time about people that will hear me talk about a film, and they're like, "Well, I thought you're supposed to be like a film buff, like these classic kind of movies, but yet you're talking about, a quote unquote crappy movie like Batman versus Superman or Jack and Jill." And I'm like, listen, I like what I like, and I'm not going to just, and that's one thing about Saturday Night Insanity is that I always joke around, like if there's like a lapse in the conversation and people are kind of can't really decide on what they want to talk about next, I'll just hold up my Jack and Jill DVD just to get some discussion talking, like just get some discussion started, and just say Jack and Jill is a masterpiece. I kind of use my love of like all those kind of movies to, but I get people comment all the time. How can you like that shitty movie? I thought you're supposed to be a film buff, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad you feel that way.
It's taste.
I mean,
there's no way to explain it.
Yeah, just because I like filet mignon every once in a while doesn't mean I can't have McDonald's one day. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, exactly. Is somebody who enjoys pickles and peanut butter. It's not exactly something anybody would enjoy normally, but that person has a specific taste for that. Somebody
exactly.
I don't know. The trolls are. I guess a comment where they ask about your taste is a lot better than just general trollism, but that's neither here nor there. A film that speaking of films that you enjoy that maybe people second guess, you're quite a fan of It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Okay, so I just recently picked it up through the Barnes & Noble, the Criterion sale. May I ask what it is about the film that you enjoy so much, and if you could care to go off and spread some love about it? Yeah.
Well, really, three things. One, I love epic movies.
Okay.
Movies that are, whether not just epic in length, but epic in scope. And there's something about, a group of people trying to find money just purely out of greed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the epic scope of the movie is one. Two is the cinematography, the filmmaking aspect, the cinema scope, huge, widescreen format that, the 70 millimeter film, just epicness about it. That's the second thing. Three, I mean, how many comedians can you get into one movie?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have the Three Stooges and Buster Keaton and Milton Berle, and I mean, you have all these greats in one movie. It's a recipe for you know, just a good movie. I'm a fan of the director as well. Some people can complain that the movie is kind of drags in parts. I understand some people might not love it as much as me, but I love every second of it.
Yeah,
So mainly those three reasons.
what I've noticed, and I haven't really dug completely into it yet, in some of the special features, is, I mean, this is me, the comedian speaking. There are some interviews there where you can tell that a comedian, most often, a comedian is somebody who wants to be speaking, who wants the attention on them, who wants to be trying to fire off all the jokes at all times. And there's one interview where there's three or four of them on a couch, and you can just kind of see that they're a little, there's a little bit of disdain between one or two of them, because one person's jumping on a joke, and like it's interesting in a film atmosphere. It probably works more because it's a script, and you have these, you give them this space to get their joke in after their line. But in real life, to get that many comedians together at the same time, and you can kind of see it on the special features. I mean, you're not going to really hear it, but it's quite visible that there's a bit of a struggle there. And sure, some of it looks like a bit of a joke. Milton Berle kind of plays it off as sarcasm, but you could tell if you're looking at them, there's a bit of a teeny bit of disdain. And it's true. Like, I don't know. There's nothing close to that. I mean, I guess the closest thing to that would be like when Seth Rogen gets a bunch of his people together and they do stuff. But there's no, right? I mean, there's no real like.
I would even say it's kind of like how Ocean's 11 is. Like, I love the Ocean's 11 movies.
Yes.
But when Ocean's 11 came out, not every single one of the actors in that movie was. I mean, you have like Casey Affleck and then Scott Conn. They weren't as famous as everybody else. Whereas it's a mad world. I mean, you have legend next to legend next to legend next to legend. But I would say the closest thing, in my opinion, would be like an Ocean's 11 style movie. I think they tried it with Rat Race, which is it's a fun movie, but I mean, it's not anything. I think I saw it one time, but you can't really repeat that kind of magic between. I mean, if you have, I forget his name, but the guy who in It's a Mad World, the guy at the beginning that dies, and he literally kicks the can,
kicks the bucket,
kicks the bucket. I'm just like, gosh, that is brilliant. Like, if any other movie could do that, and you'd be like, oh, that's cheesy, but there's something about he actually literally kicked the bucket, like. Well, and then Monroe going, you see how he just went sailing out there? He just went sailing out there.
Yeah, the fact that, yes, other movies it would be cheesy, but the problem is other movies would like, they wouldn't just do it and let it go. Other movies would do it and point at it and make a reference to it and have bright lights that say, hey, he kicked the bucket, get it, kick the bucket, kick the bucket. Yeah. So like, that's another thing that it just kind of lets the stuff breathe, where if you missed it, you missed it. Like, it's a visual joke. I could definitely see people, not getting, oh, kick the bucket, I get it. Like, I could see people just not even experiencing that the right way. And that's good. I think that's when a comedy, I guess when a comedy works. And the unfortunate thing is, somebody who's not really looking for it and appreciating it will call it a bad movie, a boring movie, and it's like, no, you're just not watching it right.
Yeah, you have to. And you have to be kind of used to the comedy too. Like, my type of comedy, because there was I love comedy in general. The whole, I love stand up, everything. My kind of comedy is the everyday life kind of stuff, but I love the monologue. I would one of my favorite stand-up albums is before Woody Allen became a film director, he was a stand-up comedian. And some of his early stand-up from the 60s is still, to me, some of the best stand-up you will ever hear, because it is literally him telling a story for 10 minutes, and then there's a 30-second, not even like a punchline at the end, but you listen to this whole thing and the build-up to this one statement, and it just throws you on the floor laughing. And like, If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, he doesn't just sit there and point at it and explain, see, this is what I meant about this joke, or
Mhm.
that's kind of how I like stand-up comedy as well. Like, I really don't like a lot of new comedians because of that. I'm not really into I like a lot of monologue heavy type comedians that are like,
Mhm.
it's not just joke joke joke. And
George Carlin was
I've
like
been
that.
in stand-up. Yeah, I mean, but there's some people that could do it. I mean, there's some people that could knock the joke stuff out of the park.
Mhm.
But I've always been one of, the storyteller, kind of like, he's kind of frowned upon now, but Bill Cosby is still a legendary stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
his comedy, I mean, Bill Cosby himself is still genius. And
Yeah.
I don't know, and plus, if there's an issue with me whenever you're sitting in a crowd, or we were sitting in a comedy club, and the people are only laughing because the guy cussed, and I'm like, just because he said fuck, you're gonna go ahead and, like, that's funny. I mean, because you probably said it on the way in here, but nobody laughed at you, but you're laughing
Yeah.
at this.
Yeah. The problem is, in comedy, they teach you that there are noises, there are setups. Like, there's a rule of three that if you tell a joke, if you do a joke and you have three sentences, sentence, and then whatever the third sentence is your punchline,
Hmm.
people are more inclined to laugh. Like, there's these mental things that people anticipate, and there's studies that the k noise is something that people appreciate more. So that's why fuck works a bit more. Like, it's incredible. If anything, I had a really good time learning uh, some of the things that how comedy works, and
Hmm.
it's unfortunate that yes, fuck will make people laugh just because there's this switch in people's brains that a cuh noise is I don't know. It sets
Yeah.
off some receptor, but yeah, I agree. I would appreciate, as somebody who certainly does not hold back with language. It would be nice to have a little uh, French fries with your salt, I guess.
Well, and my thing is, like, I could really care less about language per se, because I mean, I have a
Hmm.
mouth on me too.
Sure.
I just will be like just what always bothered me was the fact that literally these people only laughed at the word itself.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
that's like, I could care less if you cuss. I
Hmm.
cuss. Everybody cuss. Well, for the most part, everybody cusses, even people that say they don't. Um, but it's where I'm like, man, it's like you did all this work, did all this, writing and everything, all these bits and everything, but you're just getting laughs off of saying the F word.
Hmm.
Like, that's where I'm just like, there's kind of, but maybe that's just the, you know, I'm a fan of, like, classical comedy in regard, instead of, like, as modern, I mean, George Carlin cussed, but I don't really laugh at him because of that. I
Oh
mean, I
yeah,
laugh at
and
him
he
because
he
he
made
was
an
a
art.
genius.
He made an art of, like, it's kind of exactly what you're talking about. He
Hmm.
didn't cuss, but he made an art about the actual words, and there's so much material wrapped around 7 words in particular that it really is the effort in writing that Carlin did was just I think I want to say we'll never see it again, but I feel like
Yeah.
somebody like Louis C.K. is pretty close. Uh,
Yeah, I think I would agree. He would probably be the closest,
mhm.
I would say.
So there's hope. It's just so brilliant. Um, as far as other films that people kind of turn their head and question you, Michael Bay tends to be somebody that you enjoy.
Yeah,
Is
I
there
mean,
any reason, or just
no, I
it just
mean,
clicks?
yeah, I mean, I'm not one to, like, sit there and go see every movie of his that comes out. Like, I still haven't seen Pain and Gain. I still haven't seen some of his movies,
Hmm.
but I don't like. There's some I don't understand. Well, I guess I understand some of the people's complaints, but the outright hate. Um, I've been accused, not been accused, but I have. I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to looking at movies. I don't really look at things to critique a movie about. I kind of just sit there and let whatever the experience is, take me over or whatever, which is why I have the Transformers movies. They're not masterpieces and they're not even all that great, but I enjoy them just because they're what they are. I mean, and the only one I don't really like anymore. I don't really care for like Pearl Harbor. I don't really care for like Armageddon all that much anymore. I watched the heck out of that when I was younger, but I still love The Rock. It's filled with plot holes as it is. There's something about Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage teaming up on Alcatraz that just screams awesome.
Let's go get some rockets.
Yeah. Come on, Stanley, Goodspeed. Godspeed. And it's not that I love Michael Bay. I just don't understand, some of the hate. Like, I really liked 13 Hours. I did see that in theaters. I thought it was a great movie, and some people crapped on it just because he's the one who directed it. But even in those reviews, people said this was better than his other stuff. But I think if somebody else, if he had said, you know what, I'm going to direct this movie, but then have somebody else's name, a fake name, I guarantee you it would have probably been better handled critically. But because his name was involved, there's always those people that are just like, oh, Michael Bay sucks. But yet his movies make so much money.
Yeah, well, they love him in China. That's the only reason they keep making these Transformers movies is China just eats it up.
It's like 80% of the film's earnings are from overseas.
M. Night Shyamalan, he's kind of like that too. He just released a trailer and people are like, this actually looks kind of good. He's got something that's coming up that he's kind of another one where they're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoy like the first half of his filmography, but I haven't seen like Lady in the Water. I haven't seen The Visit. I haven't seen like The Last Airbender.
So you're kind of in the dark then. You've missed some of his really
like I like
unfavorable stuff. Sure.
I mean, I did see The Happening, and I didn't hate it as much as other people. It wasn't as. I mean, I don't really believe Mark Wahlberg as that character, and I don't believe Zooey Deschanel as that character. But there was something about the movie that it felt like, a Saturday afternoon Sci-Fi Channel cheesy movie, and I liked that. Now, I love Unbreakable probably more than any of his other movies. Oh, I think even over like The Sixth Sense, because to me it's like a comic book movie.
Oh no, I agree. Yeah,
and I love that take on the whole thing. So I think he's just somebody who, I don't think he's a one-hit wonder like some people say, but when you top out, when your mainstream debut movie is The Sixth Sense and is so culturally, embedded in culture, it's really hard to top that.
Well, I mean, you have that there's quite a few directors that do that where it's kind of like they're, granted, it's not exactly always the case, but it seems as if a director's first film, they've put all that time before, whether it be like thoughts as a 10-year-old or whatever, but it seems like they have so much put into that first film. So it's hard to, you're never going to match the time you put into everything you led up into that first film. Secondly, you're just not going to have the effort because you did it. Everything leading up to that first time there's just so much behind it. I mean, Orson Welles, Citizen Kane, like, you might as well just never make a movie again because, like, why even? And it happens quite a bit, and M. Night's another good case of that. But I agree. For as much as people say Sixth Sense is incredible, I think Unbreakable is actually better.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of taste.
Yep. Different strokes for different folks.
Another channel that you have is something that you've just recently started, which is a daily vlog channel. Your 45 episode.
Yeah, I think today I'm actually filming. I've been, filming 45.
Okay.
So, actually, wait. No, this may be 46. Who knows? It's either 45 or 46. I think it's a good thing I've actually lost count because that means I've continued with it. So,
So how did you get started with that? What made you want to start doing that?
I've actually, I've always loved vlogging. Everybody's always known that about me. I attempted to do daily vlogs about 3 years ago. Me and Luke, Razor Raw Reviews, did it around the same time, and we started it out. But for some reason, they don't. Let's just say a lot of mine that I did, those videos are deleted because they were really depressing.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I only had something to say if I had something not to complain about, but that was when I was going through a lot of my own personal. That's like when I was dealing with my depression was like at an all-time high, and so I did it for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I'm really not feeling this. And so I ended up stopping. Some of the videos are still there, the lighter ones, but I deleted most of those that I had. I only did it for like 20 days or something like that, but I've always loved vlogging, and one of my favorite YouTubers, probably my favorite YouTuber right now is Adam the Woo, who I've watched I've watched him for years, and for some reason,
shall you?
yeah, for some reason, I've watched his daily vlogs probably for 2.5, 3 years. I've watched his main channel for about 3 years, but for some reason, about 2 months ago, I was in a dry spell in terms of creativity, and there was no content going on my channel, and I was like watching one of his videos, and for some reason it clicked, and I was like, not only am I going to do daily vlogs, but I'm going to go into every day, try to put as much of my passion into whatever I'm talking about into it, whether it's me editing stuff, all this stuff. It really benefits having my iPhone because I do all the filming, all the editing on my iPhone. I don't even use my computer for it. I do it all on my phone. And I wanted something to push me creatively to kind of hold on to, kind of like a creative outlet. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start kind of doing it kind of like how he does, to where it's literally just whatever because I drive everywhere all the time. I love going to places, making videos about stuff. Why not just pull out my camera and do it, since I'm already doing that every day anyways? So I started doing that, and I'll be honest with you, when I first started the channel, I did not expect it to even, I didn't expect anybody to be interested. I thought it was going to go to like 10. The first video was probably going to get like a few views because it was the first one, and I thought it was going to like trickle down, and next thing you know, it'd be like 8 views per video. But I have been pleasantly surprised in the fact that not only my viewers have grown, but then people have watched it that have watched my channel for years that I've now have more conversation with on a daily basis because I'm uploading consistent content every day. There's people that, I mean, I talk to all the time now because they watch those daily vlogs. My own family watches the daily vlogs. My own dad told me recently, he'll text me, and sometimes my mom will text me if I haven't uploaded my daily vlog by noon from the previous day. And I've heard my dad say, I wish your other brothers and sisters did something like that. I could be able to stay in contact with them. So I mean, so it's actually turned into like, not only it's, my YouTube family, I guess you could say, that enjoys it, but friends that I've known for years, that I'm friends with on Facebook, that I may have not reconnected with in a while, family, they watch it probably more than other people, and it's kind of blown up in my own life into something of like, I don't know, I've just, because of the response, I'm inspired to keep going, and it's inspired me to think about other things for my main channel and all that kind of stuff. And that's just what happens when you do something you love. Sometimes creativity, it's like planting a seed and it just grows into all this other stuff. But today I just reached 100 subs on that channel today, which I didn't think I was going to get 5, just because of who wants to sit there and look at me pour water into my water bottle and drive down the road and do random stuff. So I mean, but
yeah, there's a couple of things that there, I don't know if I'd call them habits or just they're it seems every day you go and have lunch with your wife. Um, you have dinner together, but you don't ever really show her. She doesn't ever. Is that a preference thing? Is that does she not want to be on camera?
It's kind of both. It's kind of my wife is camera shy,
Okay.
but also that's my when you're I made a decision like when I started making videos that okay, I want to be as intimate with my viewers as possible. I want it to be authentic and I want to be real, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to have privacy. I still want to have that fine line. So not having my wife in the videos is one way that I'm able to be private. I also have a rule
Okay.
where I don't film within like when I'm going down the street and all that kind of stuff. I don't film within 2 or 3 miles of my house unless I'm at
Hmm.
a store. That's like I have these little, but you wouldn't notice by watching my videos because they're kind of subtle. But I've
Mm-hmm.
had all these rules set in stone, and yeah, I think my wife's been in a couple videos in terms of like her voice. We're eventually going to do like a podcast together
Uh-huh.
eventually one day, but her not being in them and some family not being in them because like usually we'll go to like family members' houses and stuff like that, and I'll be filming, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
me. That's just the privacy element of not wanting
Okay.
everything in my life on display because um, you know I don't I could care less if I get trolled, but if you're starting to troll my account in regards to things about my wife, my mom, my sister, my friends, that opens up another side of things that. So it's almost like it's privacy, but it's also protecting the. It's like I'm not saying I'm Batman. I'm protecting the ones I love the
No.
most, but it's just
Well,
that fine line that I have.
well, more than anything, you actually have reason to it, and I guess it reminded me of something that we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. But the guy's been YouTube famous, super famous. The guy's quite popular on YouTube, but he's been quite popular for a lot of negative reasons recently. Keemstar, a couple of weeks back, he had a thing where he had a bunch of people go to your channel and troll you. What was that?
Hashtag hashtag Operation False Hope. That's what it
Is
was.
that
That's
what
what
it
he
was?
called it. Yeah, he basically I guess goes from channel to channel, types in a keyword or something like that or a tag and just goes on these channels and has all of his followers go to the channel and spam it with somewhat positive comments to make you think that you're getting 1 million subscribers, and then once you realize that it was just that one video, it's supposed to make your self-esteem go down. Like I guess it's stupid
It's
because it's
really
first of
grimy.
all it's some people being negative. I mean, it's an idiot. I mean, it's an idiot thing to do. I mean, that's such it's not funny. And thankfully, I had already kind of known who he was a little bit or what that kind of thing was a little bit because the people that were commenting on my video, not everybody was saying nice things. So
Right, right.
I knew I was being spammed, but I was like, dang, man, why couldn't that happen to my marathon video? Why did it have to be a random vlog that I did? It's like that one little vlog has like a few hundred views because it got spammed. Why couldn't you guys go to my marathon video? But yeah, it was called Operation False Hope. So it's all talk like 24/7. And so I just sent a message into the cram chat saying, anybody know what this is about? And then I think Brandon, Skin Slip, and I think a couple other people go, oh, that's so and so. He spams people's channels. And then Skin Slip, I could have been mad about the situation, but Skin Slip was like, hey, any publicity is good publicity. So I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? You're right. You're right. And I told Luke, and then Luke started looking into it. And but I was just at the end of the day, I was just like, man, why couldn't it have been another video instead of a vlog that I wasn't really all that happy about, anyways? But it is what it wasn't even. But I can see how people can be completely shattered and upset, like especially if somebody, you know, is new onto YouTube and they think that they're about to make it big. Like me, I didn't really care. It didn't really phase me. I was really mad for about 2 minutes and freaking out because I thought my account had been hacked,
Hmm.
but that wasn't the case.
It's just funny that he's quite popular. I don't know what your feed looks like when you put up YouTube every day, but for some reason I get suggested these videos where maybe it's died down, but yeah, Keemstar, the guy, he's been quite forward in a lot of people's videos, people outing him and talking about how negative a person he is, and him talking about that, he's being, there's a smear campaign against him, and it's just like, no, I mean, here you are walking, talking proof that the guy he's a scumbag. He, like, anybody who just finds someone and sends people to just mess with is like, that's the creepiest, like, darkest type of behavior. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't understand. And he makes money off of that. Like, he makes money.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy, is that these people make this money off of this negative crap.
Yeah, and what's worse is he's at a point where he's quite popular. He pulls in, I would assume, at least 1,000 a day at this point off of YouTube, and it's like you're still shooting for negativity. It's I guess the last I checked with somebody like Leafy is, negativity, it pays. We're in a breeding ground of vitriol, I guess. But it's unfortunate, and I'm glad for you that it didn't really it really didn't even last. It didn't even do anything. It was just a little blip.
Yeah,
and it just kind of shows what type of person he is, and how much it doesn't work. Yeah, but you're right. Why couldn't they go to something that that could draw a couple people in?
Go to my marathon video.
Yeah, I
just recently uploaded it.
Yeah, I could attest to that. Like I had a similar experience with Blu-ray Evan, with so many people flocking to my stuff. I actually won a couple of subs in that period when shouldn't have been any positivity whatsoever. There was, it's like whoever said, there is any publicity is good publicity. It really is true. And you decided not to speak of that, even though we're talking about it now. Did you not want to give into it, or it just wasn't worth it?
Giving into what one?
Just the fact that you had that undue attention.
I don't know. I just didn't really care. Really, at the end of the day, all I thought about was, man, I wish they would have clicked on my marathon video. It really didn't bother me at all. I don't think my sub count increased because of it. It was really just the views for that video.
Okay.
But it was such, I mean, it literally only lasted like 5 minutes, that it didn't really have any, lasting impact, really. I was, one thing I was thinking was, dang, I wish I would have monetized that video, but that was just me being, it was like, that was just me, it's just thinking, but, hold on, I just got a text message, so I got to text back really quick, but, yeah, I didn't really care, per se. I just was freaked out that I thought, somebody had hacked my account.
Oh, yeah, it is strange when activity jumps up and kind of it isn't normal, and you have to start questioning things and saying, all right, well, what is it this? Is it that? Could it be this? And then you have to start doing some personal homework, and then you find out that it's something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So as far as the personal, the personal vlog, it's quite clear you're doing that quite steadily. Do you have any plans for, the main channel, you have stuff like the marathon. Do you have any sort of plans to do something special for the vlog channel? Or is that more of a streamlined type thing?
Well, I'm always going to do something every day, but over the course of the next few weeks, I have some days off requested off, and I'm going to be just doing some random locations here in town, and then in a couple months I'm going on vacation just up to the mountains in North Carolina. So I mean, I'll be having other locations as well, but it'll pretty much just streamline every day, you know, as a daily vlog, you know, just whatever I'm doing. But I got some stuff I'm doing this year, so yeah, I mean, it'll really just be whatever it is that day, you know.
And I think I was the first person to notice the water is. Let me know what the water is. What's the deal with the water?
It's just, hold on. Hold on, I'm having some camera issues really quick. Hold on. Let me try a different USB thing.
For those who don't know, Ryan opens up his videos with a quick drink of water, and literally it happens. I would say once every 3 videos or so, where he's either pouring himself with water.
Yeah, I just drink a lot of water, and I'm like, you know what? If that inspires other people to drink water, I'm gonna film it. No, but it really just comes down to the fact that it started because I saw people do videos of them like putting, you know, I think I'd see like Wet Movie 1 like do videos of him back in the day, like, you know, paying for stuff or like putting money in a soda machine, just like little stuff. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna do my own thing, and that's the water. Sometimes I do the exterior setup of into Target we go, but that's really now I only do that just because I know if you're watching the video you'll understand.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's
like, yeah, we all know what the outside of Target looks like. Come
on. My God, and not only that, we all know what Target looks like. Like, I think Target is pretty universal. There's one in every state. Like, if you don't know what a Target looks like, trust me, there's dozens upon hundreds of other videos that you could go see. Like,
yeah, I mean, and thanks to Blu-ray Evan, we now know what Target floors look like. But I haven't said anything about that whole situation. I haven't said anything about the whole situation, but I had to say it.
See, like, what bothers me the most is I didn't even want to do it. The kid asked, and I was like, "Yeah, you know what? This sounds like fun. Let me do it." Because he kept asking he wanted to be on this very show. He wanted to do an interview show. He wanted to do other things, and I was like, I don't know if I can get that done. But then he asked for a roast, and I was like, I could certainly find material there. I'll do that. And then he flipped it on me, and then I got all that attention, and I don't know. Some people.
Hey, it's because of that attention. I met you.
You're here.
You know,
yep.
You know, Luke as well, because I think because I was subbed to Evan, and then I heard about the situation. I was like, okay, who's giving him a hard time? And I got over to your channel, and I was like, oh wait, he's kind of asking for it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Hey, CP, how's it going?
Yeah, that's basically what happened. I had a flow of people, and the people with common sense were like, well, actually, let me stick around here because this guy's actually right. And then of course, well, there is no, for better or worse, there is no more Blu-ray Evan. And I would say for worse, because there is a certain quality to what he was doing, floors and all.
I just really wanted to find out, like, if anybody was going to steal all of his Blu-rays again, but that's just, I wanted a sequel, but I'm getting thumbs down on some of my videos anyway, so I could care less about it.
Oh, they're going to come. They're going to come. Well, oh yeah, especially because you're here. My thumbs, they breed, so they're like, oh, where is this person? Yeah.
The controversial CP.
Oh, yeah, I forgot where we were. Oh, yeah, so yeah, things like Wet Movie 1, he just recently, he was in that fire in California, and he's got a voicemail on his message machine that says that, you know, evacuate your home, and he's filming the machine. He's like, hey guys, check this out. I got a message that's telling me to evacuate. And it's like, dude, Get out of there.
Yeah,
Why are you
I mean,
shooting?
it's like, are you trying to make a Cloverfield sequel? I mean, I mean, it's like, and I could tell because anybody who's watched his videos long enough, like I've watched his videos since like I first started YouTube. I could tell that his mom and some of his family were really concerned, and I could tell legitimately he was concerned. And I was like, yeah, maybe filming this isn't exactly the best thing that you need
Yeah.
to be doing right now.
And on
But
top of it, it was a message. He could simulate it. He
mhm,
could go back and play it. I'm like, oh my god, guys, this is crazy.
yeah, but we got the live thing. We got the real thing in real time.
Smoke billowing in
Yeah.
through the door.
But I don't really, I think we've had a wildfire. I think we had a really bad wildfire here in Florida, like when I was a kid, like back in the 90s. And it was, I mean, around Daytona, that whole area, around 95, it was cleared. It's even still cleared to this day. You can see a little bit of growth and everything, but you can't play around with those wildfires. If they say get out, you need to get out.
Right. Yeah, they
I
move
mean,
quickly, don't they?
yeah, I mean, in those situations, I'm just like, okay, I mean, I love my movies and all, but I don't want to be dead. I mean, I don't want to die. Like, yes, I love this Criterion, but I also love this arm. So
Get a backpack and throw some
yeah, yeah. Like, and if I'm getting a backpack and I'm just putting all my important stuff and I'm putting movies in there,
water, some more water.
after. Well, I'll have another bag for the water. Um, you know, maybe after the fire, I'll have to get my priorities straight if I have to grab everything that's important, and most of them are movies.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yep, and
I
yeah.
do think about a hurricane though sometimes, about flooding, but I've always said if a hurricane comes, I'm just going to move as many of my movies upstairs as I could. But
Yeah, that's a little more predictable than
but
something like a
either way,
wildfire.
like I'm not like at the end of the day, they're just movies. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, of course, it'll suck to get rid of some or get rid of, but when it comes to like losing your life, yeah, go ahead and take the movies. Yeah, there's a Criterion rack over there. Go ahead and get all those Criterions. I don't have any cash on me if you're going to break in, but just go grab some of those, go pawn them somewhere. I guarantee you'll get like $300. So it's like, come on.
Yeah, priorities. That's another thing about YouTube is people's priorities are really kind of whacked and out there. You said you live in Jacksonville. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So what's it like being in a sports town that doesn't really have much to the football team's quite.
Yeah, I mean, we've had our good times and we've had our bad times,
Mm-hmm.
but that the fan base here is so positive that
Really?
it's. I mean, and it's funny because I'm also like a Red Sox fan. Like I love baseball and I'm a huge Red Sox fan.
I was gonna lead into that, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
so like, I think the two teams that I like the most are the two teams that have had some history with losing. But I mean, I would say the past 10 years or so, the Red Sox, are doing just fine, and this year they've been doing great. Well,
Sure.
for the most part, they've been doing good. But the thing is with Jacksonville is that we all know that the team has some issues, and we all know about the publicity that the team gets, whether it's a football player getting arrested for drugs or somebody who falls asleep behind the wheel and they drive into a retention pond, and
Oh.
this is real stuff that's happened over the past few months with some of our players.
Oh, really?
Go Jacksonville. But at the end of the day, like, we could be losing, but at the stadium, it's just a big happy party. Like, it's a good way of the city to come together because it's a huge city. Jacksonville is the biggest, or the in terms of like land mass wise, Jacksonville is the biggest city because it includes all of the Duval County area, and so it's bigger than it's like holds the record of the U.S. city. It has the most land mass, so it's a huge city that has, I mean, from one side of the city to the other is like, I would say 40, maybe 30 or 40 miles.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like, so I mean, it's a big city, and downtown is right in the middle. So I mean, it takes me a good 30, 45 minutes just to get downtown, and I'm not even at the beaches area.
Wait, shouldn't downtown be downtown? Why would downtown be in the middle?
Well, it's in the middle of, because the city started along the banks of the St. Johns River, and then due to all the other communities that were started around there, and then in the 70s they all consolidated.
Okay.
So it's not like, they were like, we're gonna just go ahead and set a tent here, and just you guys just go forth and multiply. Like, it wasn't like that. It was literally like all these little towns that came together and they consolidated into one city.
Okay.
But the city, or the fan base for the Jaguars, are some of the most happy. I mean, you could go up to one. I know a Jaguar fan that's so obsessed with the team, always wears Jaguar clothes, all that stuff, and I'm like, you think they're going to do good? And you're like, well, I hope so, but either way, I'm going to have a good time. The team's the fan spirit is good. So statistically, they've been getting better every year. So.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the polar opposite of your other team there, the Red Sox. Well, up until 04, of course.
Yeah.
Traditionally, Red Sox fans were quite miserable. I mean, that's kind of what Cubs fans are right now. Poor bastards. That's a really long time to not win. That's a really, really long time. 108, 9 years now?
Think so.
8? Oh, that's unfortunate.
But we also have, we have a minor league team here, the Jacksonville Suns, and then we have some, arena football teams that are doing all right. And we've always had sports here. It's just because the city is so big, there's not really, but it's big, but the population isn't like how it is like in New York and stuff. It'd be really hard to have a bunch of other teams and then sell out the stadium like every week. Yeah. It's just, it's interesting, but who knows? Maybe one day we'll get like an actual baseball team here. Or I know there's always been talks of getting a basketball team here. The only sport I really care about anymore is baseball. And how
did you get to the Red Sox? Did you ever live in the area, or?
No, my family's from Massachusetts.
Okay.
I was born here, but my family's from Massachusetts. My older brother, my oldest brother is 18 years older than me. Where I love the Braves and the Red Sox, but not really. Now that I've reached adulthood and I can make my own choice, I've decided to go with this team right here.
Oh, a bottle opener.
Yeah, it's for the alcoholic in me. No, I'm just joking. It's after I get those hate comments. Oh gosh, another thumbs down.
Thumbs down are so. That's nothing. The comments is where you gotta, start weeding through stuff. The thumbs down is like that's the epitome of cowardice. It's just I can't muster up words to say, so I'm just gonna.
It's like driving by somebody in the car and flicking them off, like, or yelling "screw you" out the window of your car, but your window's still rolled up. Like, it doesn't really do it. Yeah. Thumbs down is really just the equivalent of you just seeing somebody's angry face screaming in their car, but you can't hear them. It's like,
yeah. If not worse. I mean, if they have tinted windows and they do that, maybe.
Yeah. The first hate comment or trolling comment I ever got on my channel, and I always remember it, was in 2011, and somebody said, "Has anybody told you that you have a face that just looks like it needs to be punched?" And when I first read that, I just started laughing. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, because it really started early for me, because I used to do this series called like an analysis series where I would analyze movies, and mainly it was like movies with like crazy meanings or crazy endings that you need to have explained to you, And so my first one I ever did was Eyes Wide Shut, which is a controversial movie in its own. Stanley Kubrick is one of my favorite filmmakers. I love all of his movies. So I did that. In that video, you could actually still see it on my channel. If you go to my channel and you put in most popular video, it's my most popular video. You could look down the comments, and there's people that accuse me of being in the Illuminati, I mean, it's the craziest. There's some people that, of course, like are like, "Go Ryan, you did an awesome job," but there's some people that accuse me of being a part of all these conspiracies because I mean,
Because of the
it's
movie?
yeah, because there's so many hidden meanings behind the movie and all that kind of stuff, and I mean, it's just it's hey, any publicity is good publicity.
I guess.
I think I did that like in like 6 months after I started my channel, so it was like a good. It's funny that series actually has brought my channel the most views, but also the most interesting comments of people that are like, "You're stupid. This doesn't make sense." I'm like, "Did you press play?" Like, I don't do stuff to toot my own horn. I just do it to maybe somebody who had who didn't understand a certain aspect of a movie. I mean, there's times where I'm like, what the heck did that ending mean? And so I'll go online and Google it, so and so ending. I was like, I could be that kind of person with YouTube, like,
Right.
for a few videos.
Yeah.
But when somebody said I was a part of the Illuminati, and I think one comment was eventually deleted because somebody was like saying that I was like taking money from all these, like, I mean, really crazy stuff, like some conspiracy group.
What?
I never even replied to some of those. I mean, I never replied to some of those comments, but that video brought me all the craziest people came out of the woodwork to comment on that video.
That's so strange.
Yeah, it is strange.
I don't even know where to go from there. Oh, couple years back, you had Luke from Razorwire Reviews stay with you for a little bit, and you both.
He just randomly knocked on my door and said, "Dude, I need a place to stay." I was like,
I'm a little lost.
No, yeah.
So he made this long video series, and you had your own end of it. What was that like? Actually, like spending time with another YouTuber and having them stay in your house.
To be honest with you, it was just because me and him had because pretty much we talk every day, and it wasn't any different than having any other friend over. In fact, I think I was more comfortable having him and his fiance over here than I would be with some people in my own life, just here. And that says a lot because, like I said, like YouTube, we meet each other through a common interest, and so it's not like he came here and we have to have awkward conversations about what do we talk about now. Like literally, we met up, picked him up from the second he got here until, in fact, it was so fun having him here. My wife is, I'm very loud and outspoken about a lot of things, and I talk a lot. I mean, my last name's Chattaway, so I mean, I talk a lot, and my wife's last name's Chattaway now too, but she's a lot quieter and reserved and kind of shy. But we both had a blast the entire time we were here. Me and Luke still talk about it to this day. Gosh, I wish we would have planned for a longer stay because it went by so quick. But it was really weird at first that me and Luke were sitting in the same room watching a video of Robbie's or Zaren Isaacs. Like, it was weird. That was weird, but it wasn't like it was weird having him here. It was just like a surreal kind of, are we in a David Lynch movie right now? I mean, it's like we're sitting in the same room watching a YouTube video. It's like, no, but it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Definitely one of the best, one of the best memories of my adult life, and really that I'll always cherish. And that's why I have his footage, my footage, and I actually edited it into one video. All of our footage, I edited it into one video. I uploaded on my channel, but mainly because I wanted to keep it in my own, home video kind of records. Because I mean, it was a blast. And
how long was he with you?
He came we picked him up in the evening time. His bus got here downtown, went and picked him up, and we went out to dinner. He was with us the next day. Him and his fiance were with us a full day, and then they left the afternoon of the next day. So 2 nights.
Oh, wow. That's no time at all.
Yeah, it wasn't, but it was just a lot of it had to do with like my work schedule and stuff like that. But we made sure every moment was, we made sure we did something. I mean, and I thought something just popped up on my screen. No, but no, it was a lot of fun, and a lot of laughs, because we were able to have all of our inside jokes, and that we would actually type to each other. We actually were able to say it to each other's faces and have our wives laugh at us for us being kind of awkward and ridiculous with our humor. But it was a lot of fun, and obviously I hope to one day have that experience again, but it's really hard to. It's really expensive to fly over to Norway.
Yeah,
I mean, but he came here, but
Yeah, I could attest to exactly what you're experiencing. Most of my YouTube friends are actually in Europe, or I have another person that's in Canada. Like I actually, in my daily life, I talk to more people that are over in Europe or up in Canada. I have nobody that I can just drive to and be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. So I mean, I would have to like save up so much money just
for the plane, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just for the plane.
Yeah.
And then I mean, so, but maybe one day teleportation will eventually be worked out. Maybe what's his name that's in charge of Tesla and stuff, in charge of a guy who invented PayPal, Elon, or whatever
Elon
his name
Musk?
is. Yeah, maybe he'll invent some kind of teleportation device.
Yeah.
All his money though is tied up in space right now, so
just faster travel, cheap travel, cheap and safe.
Yeah.
I guess you could have cheap and not really be safe, but
yeah, hookers. No, I'm just
kidding. So what do you have planned in the months ahead, years ahead?
Well, hopefully I'm still alive, in a few years. But I don't know. I plan on making videos until the day I die, and I'm gonna make it like whenever I'm 95 years old and I finally croak, I'm gonna pass the camera to somebody as I'm dying. All right, guys, this is Ryan. I'll see you. And then my grandson will pick up the camera and continue his vlogging. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why I even said that, but in the next 5 years, I can't imagine stopping making my videos, and who knows, I might come up with some other idea, but I will always be making videos. Hopefully I'll always be living in Jacksonville and stuff, so I don't really see a lot of change other than maybe some of the creative stuff that I do.
Okay.
I'm starting to paint again soon, and because I've always been an artist in that way. I love doing oil paintings and stuff, and I haven't done it in years, but I plan on getting back into that. So obviously I'll still be working my normal job, just trying to, which that's another thing I've always stayed private about. I don't really tell people what I do. I've never really told people what I do or where I work, so like.
I missed that. You were always
I'm always private about, where I work, what I do, all that kind of stuff, which I always think is safe. I think it's, I don't think it's good for somebody to go on YouTube and say, hey, I'm Ryan Chattaway, and I work at this Kangaroo gas station at this time period. It's like, and plus, people have their own opinion about what people do, but I plan on, still being here, still having a roof over my head, and I guess goal-wise, over the next few years, I hope, still making videos. Maybe I'd finish my book that I had started writing by then. Just that kind of stuff.
What was the book fiction, nonfiction?
It was nonfiction, or no, it was fiction. It was, I don't know why. It was fiction. Got almost about 8,000 or 10,000 words written for it, which is a big start. Just kind of went through I think I burned myself out too quickly, and just kind of shelved it for right now. I have a friend of mine that we kind of have not a secret, or we have a private collaboration of screenplay type stuff. Like we don't really tell anybody, but we have one of my friends is, he does screenwriting, and you know, I've dabbled a little bit in screenwriting, but I plan on just over the next 5-10 years, the rest of my life, is just to continue to do what makes me happy, and that's what I'm passionate about. So I'm continuing to drink water as well, of course. I may start my own water bottle company. Who knows?
Very enthusiastic about water.
Why have Dasani when you could have Chattaway water?
I can't. So, any last words to my audience? Anything you want to say to tell people about you, and anything to get them over to you? Not false hope, just regular hope.
If you guys want to sub me, that's awesome. But please don't attack me for Operation False Hope ever again. No, I mean, I hope that some of your viewers make their way over to my channel. I've always kind of been the same. You don't have to worry about me changing. I've always been.
You don't want all of my viewers, by the way.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, there's a healthy chunk of my viewers that aren't very friendly, but yes, go ahead.
All you positive people out there, welcome to my world, and I hope I could entertain you as well, because I'm all about whatever makes me happy and community, and that's all. That's really all I have to say about that.
All right. Well, Ryan, thank you so much. Your address of your channel is?
I've always told people that to make it easier is just go into YouTube and just type in Ryan Chattaway.
Yeah.
And there's Ryan Chattaway, which is my two T's. RyanChattaway. There's the Ryan Chattaway channel, which is my main channel, and then there's Ryan Chattaway Daily Vlogs. So you guys could just type that in if you're interested, and yeah.
If you're watching this in the future, I'll have them down below.
Yeah, so in the future they will be right down there. So click them and hit subscribe.
Yes, do so, and leave them. Just be nice. Just be nice. That's all.
Yes.
Or just keep quiet. That's good too sometimes.
Yep.
If you have nothing nice to say nothing at all.
Exactly. The golden rule.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Just drink your water and shut up.
Yeah, I'm out of water.
All right, guys. Ryan, thank you so much for inspiring me to take part in your marathon, for being a level-headed person and understanding that I wasn't an idiot with Evan, and just I'm encouraged for the future, because somebody was supposed to be in my marathon and wasn't.
Yeah.
But there's always next. Yeah, he ruined it. He really ruined it. It could have been so cool.
Yeah. That was me, everybody.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much. You'll be on this channel at some point.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere else. We'll cross paths again. Brian, thank you so much. We'll talk again soon. Everybody, thanks for watching. Have a day.